Good morning. A while ago I was presenting to a group of young children, it's a bit different than here, about entrepreneurship. And I had all the parents standing in the back, and all the children were sitting in front of me like sort of a half circle, just like you are. And I was talking a bit about the barber and the butcher, some simple examples of entrepreneurship. And then I sent them to 3 separate rooms with all a different objective. So the youngest group, 10 to 14 years old, I sent them to the room and I said, you need to make €5 by the end of the day. So find a plan to do that. And then the middle group, 10 to 14 years old, I said, well, you've got €5 by the start of the day, and try to make 50 by the end of the day. And the oldest group, 14 to 16, I said, you've got €100, try to make 500 by the end of the week. So they all went to their separate rooms, and I had a parent supervising it all, in order that they wouldn't tear the whole place down. So, you know how the kids are. And so they came back after half an hour or so, and they presented on a flip over, just like this one. And it all went quite well, until this young fellow, he came on stage, and he presented, you know, a young boy, spiky hair, freckles. And he presented, and after his presentation, he was looking a bit down, he was walking like this. And so I went over to him, and I said, what's your name? And he said, my name is Jeroen. Okay, Jeroen, you're looking a bit down, you're looking a bit depressed. What happened? Well, he said, we had some great ideas in the room. We were going to build musical instruments, then play on the village square, and we'd easily get €5. We would, if it would be a success, we would form a band and sell our songs on iTunes. So that was a great idea. And there were other ideas. We were going to make portraits of people on the village square, sell them as well. And if that was a success, we would make T-shirts of them and sell them on the internet. So I said, well, why didn't you present that? Well, he said, there was a parent with us. I think you feel it coming. What do you think the parent said? Exactly, too complicated. Let's not do that. We never did that before. There's no time for it, so let's just do a lottery. Because that always works. Well, in the current state of our world, we cannot afford to lose creativity and all this entrepreneurship by young people at all. We've got everything now. We've got the internet, we've got social media, we've got robotics, we've got genomics, we've got gentech. There's so many things going on that we need all this entrepreneurship, all this creativity, especially by young people as well, because all these fields are being combined. And let me show you an insight that I've found when working with young people, but also working with entrepreneurship in terms of how does that work? How does entrepreneurship fill into this? And if you, for instance, are active in a market, let's say market A, and it can be a company, it can be a medical department, doesn't really matter. And that market is a very nice place to be, because you know it, you know all your best partners, you know their cell phone numbers by heart. I mean, that's really a comfortable place to be. But then someone says, well, maybe we should do something different. Why won't we do that, or this, or that? Why won't we go to B? Fairly good idea. Now, and what happens most of the time, and too often, is that people who try and go to B, they get drawn back into the system. And what we do then is we start again running in the same circle. So we send each other even more emails. Yeah? Or somebody says, don't do it, has already been done, didn't work. There's no budget, we haven't got the time, the last guy who tried that was fired. So, yeah. And we've experienced the same pitfall in one of our companies. We were planning a new marketing campaign, and we were quite full of it. And then a marketing consultant gave us a call and said, I'd like to share my ideas about your marketing campaign with you. So we said, okay, come to our office. So he came in, and he said, what are your plans? So we explained a bit, and he said, it's completely wrong. That's old thinking. So we thought, well, maybe you should finish your coffee and then, so we can get on with our work. No, I said, well, what do you mean? Well, he said, you're thinking a bit like getting the state of New York as your customer. You should think about the East Coast or maybe the whole of the US. So really think differently. And we completely changed our marketing campaign, we completely designed it, and we sold the company 4 months later together with the idea. But that's another story. But, so, running in circles is not the solution. But what happens is, what does the entrepreneur do, or the entrepreneurial manager? They say, screw it, let's do it, let's go to B. Is that always with 100% certainty? Of course not. You will have to accept uncertainty. There's always this 30, 40% at least of uncertainty. If you're not willing to accept that, then you will stay in A. You arrive at B. Is there always your personal pot of gold? Of course not. Your idea might be wrong, your price might be wrong, maybe it doesn't work out, your analysis has been wrong. But the good thing is, from B onwards, there are again many possibilities. You might go to C. And what we've seen many, many times, and what you will see today many, many times, and I think also in your own experience, is that it might be the case that at C, you will find that personal pot of gold. Maybe everything there will fall into place. Your dreams will really come true, whether it be financial or another way. And what the entrepreneurial route says, and that is something that I'd like to share with you, is that this arrow to your personal pot of gold, that arrow, you cannot see from A. And that's very, very simple, but we've seen it so, so many times. If you're not willing to stop running in circles, and if you're willing to leave the safe shores, then you will get to B. If you're really willing to accept the uncertainty, to take some risk, then you will get to B. And at B, you will see the things that you've never seen before. So that's really an important step in terms of entrepreneurship. And if you see at the excitement and the discovery, I thought about this little class of all these young people talking about entrepreneurship. So I thought, I need to call this guy, this Jeroen, and see what he remembers of this entrepreneurship class a couple of years ago. So I called his mom, and I said, can I talk to Jeroen? Of course. I said, Jeroen, I'd like to come over and talk to you about this entrepreneurship class. And he said, sure. So I went to his place, and he was in the doorstep, and he was really excited. I said, are you still being an entrepreneur? Yeah, sure you're. But I need to show you something. Come inside. So he showed me something, and I said to him, why won't you show that to us at TEDxNijmegen? And because Jeroen is a real entrepreneur, he's here. So give him a big hand. So, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah. Pretty nice for you, no?
Yes.
Yeah, all these people, especially coming for you. Well, you brought something. What have you got there?
A booklet.
A booklet, right. And who gave it to you?
My mom gave it to me.
Your mom gave it to me. Was that the same mom when you came home that she said, well, you want to be an entrepreneur, but maybe why don't you go to law school? That's also a good missus. But now she gave you the book. And why did she give you the book?
Because I was afraid.
You were afraid? Afraid of what? Afraid when you go to sleep and all the crocodiles in your room and
Afraid
stuff?
to lose all my ideas.
To lose your ideas?
Yes.
Ah, so why do you use the book then?
Now can I write them down?
So you write all the ideas down in your book so you don't lose them when you go to sleep?
Yes.
So you've got so many ideas then? Yeah.
No way.
No. But maybe you can share some of the ideas with the audience here. No?
Nee.
No?
No.
No? For sure not? Oh. But Jeroen is the real perfect example of somebody who never runs in circles, like most young people never do, who really likes to take risks, and he really enjoys the discovery and seeing all the seas. And talking about these Higgs particles, Jeroen, maybe we can make a bit money out of it if we make them a bit bigger and maybe color them red or blue or, you never know.